So partner, before we will start our program, let's have our welcome remarks from our Vice President.
Yay!
Welcome.
Very short.
That's me and my husband.
Yes,
Okay, so distinguished guests, especially our guest speakers, I thank you, Sir Oscar, first of all, and the amiable Lori Phil here, thank you. Okay, distinguished guests, speakers, fellow officers, board of directors, friends, enemies, Okay, so one of the objectives of PBSA is to encourage all members to love and support each other. And we're doing it now through this program, Up and Away. Where is the title? Up and Close
and personal.
and Personal. And we're very lucky tonight because we have the finest businessmen and professionals present tonight. And these are Dr. Rod Montano over there. Attorney Joseph Angeles. And attorney, the two of them are attorneys. No, just in case, is there anybody here who doesn't know that they're both lawyers? Our pride in the Filipino community. Lawyers, both lawyers, Canadian lawyers. Okay, and we have Mr. Rey Campos, our PBSA accountant, and we have Ms. Josie Yee. And we have Ms. Codizal. Loida, Lumanlan. Mr. Elle, our host. Okay, everybody, let's get inspired.
So now we will have our first speaker for the day. So she's the lawyer in the Philippines and a practicing barrister and solicitor in Alberta, and a partner law of our beloved attorney Joseph Angeles, a very strong woman who is confident and determined. She is a loving wife and an incredible mom of her two young girls. Let's all welcome Ms. Attorney Katrina Andrade.
Long-time supporter of various Filipino organizations in all events in Alberta, that guy. And the only Filipino member of anti-racism and advisory council. I know Celso for a long time since he opened up business 23 years ago, and he's a hardworking guy. And you want your cargo to move to the Philippines, that's the guy. To drop it off in there. Anyway, it's an honor for me to present him, Mr. Celso Andrade, President of Sunfreight Cargo.
Our next speaker, she is the president and CEO of Prestige Vision Center based in Edmonton. A strong, lovely woman and reliable and trustworthy. A producer of concerts through her Codizal Entertainment and grows various plants and flower on her backyard called the Garden of Eden. Please welcome our lovely Miss Eden Codizal.
Fourth guest speaker. I don't know if he's new in our group. I think he's second year. Chartered Professional Accountant of Alberta, Executive Director of Experior Financial Group, an active volunteer of Couple for Christ, and PBSA accountant. Please welcome Mr. Rey Campos.
Oh, okay, our next speaker. He is a licensed mutual funds representative, financial advisor, and an insurance agent. The first Filipino senior marketing director and the first six-figure income earner Filipino for the entire world. Financial group Strinadka, karaoke across Canada. Let's welcome Mr. Glenn Elle.
And now, the next speaker. Another strong, charming, persistent, immovable, generous, and so on and so forth. I assure you, she will give you a square deal per square meter. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm presenting you one of our finest PBA members, Miss Loida Lumanlan.
I thought you were talking about somebody else. Thank you, boss.
Our next speaker, last but not the least, not that the last, the second to the last, but powerful woman. She's the owner of the famous Pat Jack's restaurant in Edmonton, in downtown area. A strong woman, like all of them are strong. Elegance and grace. She's an epitome of courage and hope. She's open-minded and inspiring. She stays positive even during difficult times. Please welcome the muse, is Josie Yee.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the last but not the least, a philanthropist, a singer, a jet setter, and a YouTube sensation. Highly respected in his field and produced various concerts, entertainment in Alberta. You conduct free medical and dental research in the Philippines and other countries over the years. I'd like to present to you our very own dentist by profession, Dr. Nimrod Montano.
Hello, everybody. My name is Katrina. I am the wife and the only wife. If you see it with anybody else, I will give you my phone number. I'm so happy to be here tonight. A brief introduction about myself. I actually, Joseph pointed it out. I actually started Angeles Law. So, and this is probably the reason why I'm up here and not Joseph. Kasi technically, empleyado ko siya. Joke lang. So, but I started Angeles Law back in 2015, and it's actually a really good full circle moment for me because one of the people who actually attended my bar call as a young lawyer, well, young pa rin ako ngayon, is here today, Marie Articulo. So that's why it's such a wonderful full circle moment for me. So yeah, so that's it.
Good evening, everyone. My name, by the way, is Celso Andrade. I'm the owner. Me and my wife, actually, my wife is the boss of Sunfreight Cargo. So just a brief intro of how we started. Sunfreight Cargo started way back in 1998. We started as a home-based business at the time. And over the years, we transitioned to a company. So as a sort of an encouragement to everyone, you know, me and my wife, when we started the business, we both work full-time. So just give you a heads up. So that's about it. In 2001, we started incorporating Sunfreight Cargo with a vision of giving the service to the Filipino community in Edmonton and Alberta, and now we're in British Columbia and Saskatchewan. So just to let you know, we will be having a 20-year anniversary in September. So we'll have a big one for everyone. Thank you very much.
Okay, my name is Eden Codizal. Prestige Vision Center is the business that was practically handed to me on a silver platter. I never asked for it. But because somebody asked me at one point in 2010, he said to me, do not vie for that license. But can you manage an optical clinic in Canada? And I said, like the back of my hand.
Yes.
So they were the brothers. They were Bill and David Chan. I was not expecting that it was true. I thought it was a joke. And they became the money, and I became the brain and the muscle. We built Prestige Vision Center from scratch. My husband and I went to the drawing board. And when they say you build it, they will come. We did not expect anything. And then from then on, 2011, June 1st was the soft opening. And doctors came, patients came. I think now, 2021, 10 years thereafter, probably there is 12,000 already in the file. Too little compared to some others, but with something that started really from scratch, you won't believe what we have achieved. Now, 4 years after, when the brothers decided, they decided to, because they expected their children to take over after them, and the children were not interested in any other way, in any other form towards the business. He decided to sell. So we opened to buyers, so many, probably 10. I was never interested. No, I just said to him, if I thought you'd waste my time, that you will not pursue this business after all my effort, because I was 60%. They've given that to me, but no money involved from me. 60% and they were 40, and I was the president and executive officer, something like that. I like the sound of it. Know what I mean? I did not get, I waived salary for a year. I did not mind. I did not dream of having it, nor dream of having my own. No, I didn't. After 10 people, I don't know, they never came back. Nobody was buying after that. And he said to me, Eden, I think this is your future. It has to be yours. I said, I don't have any. I don't have the money to buy it. Yeah, I cannot afford it. They did everything they can so that the business will be handed to me 100%. I still owe them some money, but hey, I did not ask for this. I didn't, nor I dreamed of having one. I just want my license, but that license was elusive. So what happens now is Prestige is there. So everybody, I hope most of you have been there. Of course. So, hey, don't forget, Garden of Eden is there too.
I think there was a miscommunication when I was told that I have to speak, because I was given 30 minutes to speak. Now I prepared the 1 hour speech. Now I have to cover So my name is Rey Campos. I'm a chartered professional accountant here in Canada. Me and my wife Rose were certified public accountant back in the Philippines. So we actually we applied as Canadian immigrants because we were admitted to Canada because we were professionals. And then to our surprise, that our designation back in the Philippines were not honored here in Canada. So we landed in Vancouver in June 3 of 1997. And then after going through every company to apply for a job, and then we gave up that there's no job in Canada. So Rose and I decided to go back home in the Philippines, and then we told our our brothers and sisters in the Philippines and our parents that were coming back home. And then and then we also told our friends, we have a friend of a friend that we haven't met here in Edmonton. And then we phoned them and then they said, we told them that we're going back home. So because there's no job in Canada. And then they said that you haven't even tried Edmonton yet and you're going back home. And then just kind of like a light bulb that goes into our mind that, oh, Vancouver is not just, Canada is not just Vancouver. So, and then Rose said that, I'm gonna go to Edmonton. So she left me with the kids there and in Vancouver. We have, at that time, we have an 11-year-old daughter and Andrew was 8 years old at that time. So Rose came to Edmonton and then she said, kind of like Edmonton is a nice place. I'm not going back there in Vancouver. And then they said, you pack everything that you can and then you come here in Edmonton with the kids. So I said, oh my God, how am I gonna do it? And so I gave everything that we have, the couch, the bed. And I said, oh, look, if you want bed, there's bed free here. And if you want couch, there's free couch here. And then we came to Edmonton. Long story short, we came to Edmonton and we did what we did in Vancouver. We kind of like reigned Edmonton with our resume. And then to our surprise, every single company that we gave our resume to phoned us. And so we were overwhelmed of all the phone calls that we have to answer. And then, but still the dream of having an accounting job is really out of beyond our reach. So we decided to go to school. We went to school at NAIT. During the week, there's like 3 days that we have to go to NAIT. And at that time, the kids were still young, so we have to take them to NAIT. So we took the kids with us to NAIT and then put them in the student lounge. And then we said that you do your homework here. And then after the break time, and then we go back to them and go, oh, did you finish your homework? Something like that. And that was the hard work that we did during our time. And then after our graduation, before our graduation, Rose found a job already in accounting. And then I also applied because I love my job. Actually, I didn't apply when we were still going to school. So I love my job as janitor. So I said, I'm not gonna apply for accounting job. So when I applied for an accounting position, the manager that interviewed me said, I'm only gonna hire you if you will proceed with your designation, the now chartered professional accountant. So I said, I will if you will shoulder the schooling expenses. And then he said yes. So I finished my designation with very minimal expenses on my own. So long story short, I worked in the corporate in the corporate sector here in Edmonton, like oil and gas and I hop from one company to another. So in 2014, I registered as a public practitioner, accounting public practitioner here in Edmonton, and I did that on the side. I work as a financial accountant in a company, and then I have my side job, like the public practice as my side job. So in 2018, I said, I just realized that with all the hard work that I put in to make my employer rich, I said, if I will put this hard work to my own business, then my business will grow. But so 2018, I told Rose, I'm gonna quit. And then she cannot sleep. She was not able to sleep. And then I said, this is it, I'm gonna quit. And then I quit my job and then make my side job full time. So I just realized that the famous saying of the Filipino that pag may tiyaga, may nilaga. Yeah, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. And Maya Pabengu, my dear sister. I'm a purebred Kapampangan. Nice to speak Kapampangan. Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. I'm Josie Yee, and actually I wear a few hats. I'm a licensed hairdresser here in Edmonton, and I'm also a licensed real estate agent that I retired in 2015. But I will stick with restaurant business because that's what we have done for the last 25 years. I started, I wouldn't name the restaurant because I already sold it, right? In 1994, and that was actually, we didn't plan of opening a restaurant. My husband and I were successful managers in the restaurant business. And the reason we got our feet wet was we just wanted to help a foreign worker, a cook that was ready to be sent home in the Philippines during that time. I'm glad, I wish you were here then. Then maybe we didn't have to open the business. But anyway, there's no regret. We had so much fun, and I enjoyed all the challenges that we had. It was so long to express it right now, but at the same time, we enjoyed because it was our passion to serve the community, to serve people, to love, because love and food are actually interlinked. That's what my belief. And also in 2005, I sold the first business, and in 2005 as well, I found a business that was closed, and the building comes with it. And that was my prayer that I would like to own our own property. So we don't have to worry much about the rent. And same thing, there was challenges, a lot of challenges, but because of my earlier experience and knowledge in the business, and also because of the support of my husband, I guess we made it through all these years. And a lot of sacrifices have been, done to my family. But now, thanks God. And actually, first and foremost, I want to thank God for all the blessings, the guidance, and everything in my life was all because of God's, being guiding us. And also, first and foremost, also our customers. Without the customers, which are most of you here, are our loyal supporter, and I'm just overwhelmed with what success have been given to us. And see, I got emotional. And just one thing I would like to impart with you, like in running a business, I think it's the service that you want to provide to the customer, and also maybe leave the ego sometimes and always stay humble. Yeah, humility will get you along. And like I said, I teach my staff before that you always have to be kneeling down. Just in case you fall down, it won't hurt as much. So that's my.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Magandang gabi sa inyo. Ako po si Doc Rod at saka I am the caretaker of 3 clinics here in Edmonton named Grace Smile Family Dental. Bright Smile Family Dental and Turnkey Dental Clinic. Why I said caretaker? Because for me, we don't own everything in this firm. We are only a caretaker. So that's how I believe. So I came to Canada in 1993. And I've been practicing as a dentist for more than 35 years. Look at my Alabama.
I want that smile.
So 1993, and it's not easy. It's really a struggle. But that's the time that I believe that I become more closer to him because it seemed like I don't know what to do. Yeah. So I always claim in the Bible that, with God, all things are possible. Yes. So when I came to Canada, by the way, I graduated in the Philippines in Cebu City, Southwestern University in 1986. So, yes. So I practiced in Bacolod for more than almost 8 years before coming to Canada. So why I moved to Canada? Because of woman. I'm married to a Filipino Canadian, so that's why she, invited me to come, and I said, why not? We'll try. Probably this is my destiny. I really believe in destiny. Each one of us, we have our own destiny. Because to tell you honestly, when I studied in dentistry, because my parents cannot afford sending me to school in dentistry. So I have an angel who supported me from US. I didn't met her. She just sent me money to go to dentistry. Actually, she invited me to come to US to study in dentistry, but I was so scared. So I said, I cannot accept the offer, but if you can help me to study in the Philippines, I'll grab the opportunity. So that's what happened. So when I came, it was really a struggle, but I put it in my mind that, I just here to enjoy the beauty of Canada. But when I came, it was winter. I said, oh my God, what's this place? It's all white. It's all white. And just like nobody are around. Like I'm so, I'm so frustrated. And, of course, you've been working as a dentist in the Philippines, and then you come here just like you started from nothing. So I just enjoyed being a driver, my wife, the cook at home. And the first job that I got is delivering flyers. I was crying. So cold winter, delivering flyers like every house. Until I met an American dentist in her church, and I said, I am a dentist back home. Can I work for you as a volunteer? So that's how I started to work in the dental clinic. I worked for almost 4 months without paying, So that's what happened. And after 4 months, the ladies who trained me as a dental assistant left, and they offered me a job. But during that time, 1993, it was a recession. No job at all. Even I applied to the hotel, restaurant, like nobody would hire me. So so that's good that I met this dentist, and I worked for him, and then he gave me a chance to work. But I enjoyed the time, even it's hard because he owns an airplane. He is a dentist in Maine Reserve here in Alberta. So we fly every day, serving the native community, like the Sylvan, Slave Lake, Chipon Lake, Kunklin Lake, so many lakes. So we serve the native community, the school. So after a year, I told my wife, I want to go home because I didn't solve my practice yet. I want to go home. I want to try to go back again to the Philippines and practice. But when I was in the Philippines at the time, I already have things to differentiate, you know, like in Canada. And so that's one of the things that encouraged me, like, you know, how about you try to take the board exam. So when I came back about 4 months of, you know, in the Philippines, I said, you know, probably I want to try to take the board exam. It was really hard for me to decide because I got my license for almost more than 3 years, And you know what's good in here in Canada? The bank will support you. I just went to the bank and I said, I want to take the exam and I want to loan money, like support, financial support. And that's what happened. So to make the long story short, I got my license after 3 years and then he absorbed me as a dentist. And then I said, like, after 3 years of working with him, I said, I want to have my own. I want to have my own clinic, you know, but you know, to buy a clinic here, it's not easy. Like it costs you about 350 to $1 million, you know, when you put up a clinic or to buy a clinic. And one time I saw in a dental magazine, like clinic for sale, $10. So I said, oh my God, $10? Action here. Yeah, impossible. So then I called the guy and I said, oh yeah, I want to see the clinic. And I found out that the guy committed mistake. Suicide in the hospital. And when we were there, I learned that the clinic's been closed for 6 months. So they really want them, you know. And when I was asking the girl with him, so I found out that they were divorced already. So I said, oh, don't listen to him, you know, deal with me. So that's what happened. And I said, are you sure you're selling this for $10? You know, no, you know, but probably, I don't know, mental or probably just a catch, right? To catch anybody that want the clinic. So when I saw the clinic, it was really dirty, it's closed, it's really, you know, and and then what happened is that when I talked to her, I said, how much you're selling it? I said, it's about 75,000. 150,000. So I said, okay, can I get somebody to reassess, you know, to reevaluate evaluation of the clinic. So the day that after the evaluation of the clinic, she phoned me and said, Dr. Montano, I'm sorry, we sold the clinic already to somebody else. So I said, oh, okay, so probably, you know, it's not for me. Yeah. So, but you know what? That time I said, oh my God, that's the 150,000. That's the only amount of fair amount of money that I can afford. Because when you buy a 300, 500,000 of clinic, how you do it? Like, you know, you just work for the bank, right? You cannot bring money to the family. So, but I've been praying for it. I said, Lord, you know, please, you know, help me that I can find something just same, you know, same price. After a month, she phoned me. Dr. Montano, are you still interested to buy the clinic? I said, oh, what happened? I said, oh, this guy, you know, keep installing us. You know, actually, I lowered down already the price for 85,000. And still, you know, he wants to lower down. I said, oh, so, you know, I'm interested, but you know what we're gonna do, because they have already you know, the deposit and, you know, things like that. I said, okay, if you're interested, I'll give it to you for 50,000. So I said, oh my God, it's like, I don't know what I said, Lord, I don't know. It's really, for me, it's a miracle. It's a blessing, because for me, I said, you know, if it is really for you, but that's why you don't have to push yourself too much. You know, if it's really for you, that's for you. If it's not for you, you know, don't do it. So that's what happened. So it was really a blessing, and that's how I started. So that's why I bought that 1998, and then I opened another clinic in Clearview with this Bright Smile Family Dental. Then year 2005, I opened Great Smile Family Dental. So thank you so much. And
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm a recovering alcoholic.
The lady in blue.
So most people, they see me, I'm jumping around, putting sold signs, probably think I'm a millionaire. I sell many houses. I help a lot of people. Yes, that's true that I help a lot of people, but I'm not a millionaire. So I've been doing real estate in Edmonton since year 2000 in June. So June this year, 21 years in the business, same company, Remax company. But before that, it's not an easy life. Being a realtor is not easy, but I want to bring you back year 1987. Who are here in 1987?
I was born that year.
Okay. You were a baby.
I was fine.
I arrived at the Edmonton International Airport October 9. I thought I was gonna kiss the ground because that was the luckiest day of my life, really. And I'm honored to be standing here and humbled to be with all these professionals. I came here with a high school degree from Mandaluyong, not inside out. So high school degree and a young mom. Luckily, I came here because my children were born Canadian citizens, and that's another topic. Okay? So my kids were Canadians, they came here, and then I was able to come because I'm the mother, right? And to hop few months later, single mother with children in Canada, in Edmonton, and homeless. That's now 1988. Imagine you're 28 years old, you got 3 kids with you, in Millwoods, and the landlady said, you gotta pack your things because you're soon to be ex, you didn't pay the rent, so you guys have to get out. Pack everything. And luckily, his cousin, was managing an apartment downtown behind Grant McEwan. So we experienced staying in a 4th floor apartment. We plug in the lamp on the hallway, and the cousin said, sleep on the floor. When you wake up, come downstairs and eat with us. He was the manager of the building, 2-story. And then he suggested I call social services because the Wynn House will take care of us. It's true. How fortunate. We went to the Wynn House. We were on our way to the Wynn House. I held back my tears because I want the kids in the backseat of the taxi to see I was a strong mom. It's okay. This is nothing. We're in Canada, right? Yeah, we stayed at the Wynn House for over a month with other moms from abuse relationships. Some were really in bad shape. Some kids had, psychological issues because of the trauma. But all I can think of was we have shelter, we have food, they gave us bus transit ticket. So we would leave the Wynn House on 118th Avenue around 37th Street at about 7 in the morning or 7:30. We brought our lunch from the Wynn House. The kids went to St. Hilda's School in Millwoods. I worked as a cleaning lady at the Convention Inn Hotel. Do you remember Convention Inn? I got paid $5.50 an hour. And every now and then I got $2 tip. That bought me 5 loaves of bread at Superstore. So I didn't think that we had a hard life. I still thought we were lucky. We're in Canada. I was thankful that Canada is so great to people like me. No education, no money, homeless, with children. And I met some Filipinos, they were not nice to me. Because the first thing they asked me in those days, where did you graduate? They're expecting UP, UST, whatever those holy school. Holy cow, I didn't have any of those schools, right? So I said, oh, I'm a single mom, you know, divorced, yeah. They walked away. I was ashamed in the society. How to be a Filipina, be single mom with 3 kids on welfare in Canada? I was. And the government said the social worker offered assistance. You get interviewed, you know, with your social, I don't know what you call them, worker. And she said to me, you seem very smart. We decided we'll send you to university, we'll pay your schooling, your housing, food for all your kids, we'll give you an apartment, register at a school. I said, no, I can't do that. I have to support my mother. You know, I have sisters and I want to help. I said, just give me a year. I'll work 2 jobs. I'll make enough and we'll get off welfare. And we did. So when you set goals, you know, then you have a direction. I wrote at the back of the door, convention in hotel, $5.50 an hour, 40 hours a week, how much? Okay, I need a part-time. I work as a dim sum girl. I work at Cheesecake Cafe. I work every job. So I said, I need to work 60 hours a week so that we can get off welfare. And we did, right? We did. So now I got 2 jobs, right? Working all the time, working. I remember when I left the house or the apartment, it was dark. You said it was dark and cold and everything. I came back in the evening, it was dark. On my day off, what do you do when it's dark? You go to sleep. But the kids went to school, I went to work. It's like actually the Canadian life, I learned it from my kids. They came home, they told stories. We watched all the TV shows. You know, Who's the Boss? Yeah. What else? Family Ties, all the English shows. We watched them all, right? American shows, Canadian shows. We watched them all and we went to the movies. We made sure we ate at home so we don't have to eat in the movies. We took the bus. That was the experience of poor in Canada. We didn't have a car. So when we went to Superstore, we said, okay, $200, that's good for 2 weeks. We had all the coupons cut out. We took the taxi. It was, I don't know, $12 maybe or $10. And $2 for 5 loaves of bread unsliced. If you buy the sliced one, it's $2.50. So we bought the unsliced, okay? We bought the frozen box of chicken legs because it was cheaper, okay? And then I cooked everything. I'm from Pampanga, so I know how to cook. Ask Josie, she's from Pampanga. We're known to be. I cooked everything. I made siopaw. I made everything. We didn't know what's like to eat in a restaurant. We've never experienced that because we didn't have money. So when my son was working part-time at McDonald's, he said, Mom, it's a soft opening of pizza. Believe it or not, they had pizza at McDonald's in the late 80s. There were, you know, so he said, we can eat at the McDonald's for supper. And I was wondering, what do we wear? We're eating out at the McDonald's behind our house or apartment we're renting at Milburn Mall. He goes, we're gonna eat at McDonald's. I said, what are you gonna wear? You know, what am I gonna wear? Mom, it's McDonald's. But in the Philippines, they went to Jollibee, they put on their nicest clothes. No, we just show up there. Okay, that's good, right? And when my daughter was in kindergarten here, she said, Mom, we're going cross-country skiing. I go, oh my God, I think your passport expired. You know? What do I know about skiing, right? So that was our life here in the late 80s to the year in the 90s, right? And the kids grew up okay. They turned out good. They all excel in school. They all have the honor students with, what is it called, distinction? So whenever there's award nights in school, parents were invited. And our son said, we're going to Bowinkles or somewhere. And Mom, where are you taking us? I said, there's a Blockbuster across from us. We'll have 2 videos tonight. And we'll have bananas, popcorn. You can eat junk food tonight. We will spend $5. So that was our night, right? So that was the life of a single mom with kids and in elementary school. And they all went on to university. They graduated from the U of A, all 4 of them. I don't talk about my kids because of privacy issues. I don't post them on Facebook because I have to ask permission. So I just show myself jumping around, right? So the youngest, she studied at the U of A, and then she mastered in architecture. She's an architect in Calgary. Then my son, he graduated in computer engineering. He got recruited by Microsoft in the US. He worked there for over 12 years. Now he's got green card, so he decided to move on to another company. Then other son has masters in cell biotechnology, whatever that was, at the U of A, and move on to take masters in chemical engineering at U of C. And then the eldest, she took psychology at U of A, and she works at the government of Alberta. But it wasn't an easy ride. It was tough from broken marriage to being a single parent, raising kids here. And the kids, they speak differently than where we came from. Where we came from, you say, shut up, they shut up. Here, no, mom, shut up. Right? It's different. But to put you back to where I came from, where I grew up, I was selling corn on the street. Nilagang mais po ang aking espesyalidad. So just to give you a glimpse of my background, I grew up in Pampanga, San Fernando, Arayat, San Fernando. And then my mother would cook some food. Then tama na yan. And I learned how to sell. So I'm a natural seller because I love people. I like pleasing people. I like listening to their stories. I have very good memory. So masasabi ko lang po, maski ano yung kahirapan niyang pinagdaanan, Canada is still the best place to live in, and I'm very fortunate for all the success it has given me and all the people I meet every day, like these people and like all of you. So salamat po sa opportunity.
So, you remember ang sinabi ni Vice President Virgie Sumalilog, Doctor. Be inspired, huh? So the stories really inspire. Marjorie, we need to contact si Charo Santos. Listening to all of you, I think there is a story there, right? I think for those business owners, that's the most important. And then I think that's PBSA. We learn from the stories, right? So briefly, my name is Glenn Elle. My lovely wife, Christina, is over here. The reason why we came to Canada is because of her. Okay, so she's my first and only girlfriend. And we have two kids, Noah, who's 13 years old, and Mary, sabi ko sana 16, di ba? So nauna, no, 13 years old, and then Mary, 5 years old. So Noah was born in the Philippines, and then 5 years si Mary dito naman. And we got here because sa Philippines, ako yung type na will die in Philippines. I don't know if it's the same with you. I grew up in Iloilo, family of 6, military dad, and my mom stays at home. And things are tight, right? I remember eating with asin or bagoong or nothing at all. But you know, you're happy. And we were very fortunate because high school, I got accepted sa West Visayas State University. Very good school, Karaya, so parang probinsyano ka talaga doon. And then from there, guidance counselor said, Glenn, apply for this entrance exam. And it's Ateneo, and I didn't know about Ateneo, and I got accepted. So I packed my big bag and then moved to Ateneo, and I think that opened a lot of doors too, right? But there's a lot of insecurity, and I think you could see me speaking right now, but I'm naturally introverted. My comfort zone is always at home, be with the kids, and my priority is always my faith, my family, my fitness, and nothing else. But when we came to Canada, that's where I realized that we need to do something, right? We will die eventually. And I think one of the questions there is that ano yung gagawin natin? And that's where our journey in business started. Back in the Philippines, I worked for BPI, Banco de Oro, good money. My last job was Globe Telecoms. Christina, when we had Noah, decided that Glenn, I want to become, you know, the parent for kids. So she shifted to education and full-time. When we came to Canada, na-approve siya nung nag-apply when she was single and then approved. That's where decided. It took us 1 year before we came here because our career back home was really good, right? And God is with us. This is not to dismiss your stories, but I think we had an easy life. Okay, no drama. We came here 3rd day in Canada. I got interviewed. The week after I was hired. No background in accounting, but I got accepted for hotel accounting. And then 6 months after, I got accepted Ramada Inn, now Edmonton in, I think, financial controller, no background in accounting. Okay, so that story to me tells me that you can do anything, right? And being a business owner, I think my desire is I love my job. At the DoubleTree, you get all the perks, you know, the hotels, the free meals, the position. But I came to a point na, you know, you're trading time for your family for money. For me to be promoted, I need to travel across Canada. And that's where, when our daughter was born, that's where we made the shift to become a business owner. We used to own a franchise, Second Cup, a lot of time, but then less income. And you have a big debt too. With World Financial Group, I met Cameron Agnew when we were brand new in Canada. And that's how we got started. We became friends for 3 years. I was approached by other office, and my experience is that it's not been good. I don't know with you, half of the Filipinos I've met, they have a bad experience with a financial company.
Yes.
And to me, that hurts me, okay? Because we struggle back home, we came here and we're being taken advantage of. But what I realized is that here in this office, and I can speak from this office, is that they really teach you the basics. So yung budget na sinasabi, di ba? Yung loans, everything. It touches all areas of our life. And we prayed about it and said, what kind of business we'll be in? And we said, it's going to be finance. 50% of marriages end up in divorce. Main reason? Finance. Health, people struggle. Main reason? Finance, right? Business owners, we had a session a few months ago. What's the number one reason why business owners fail? Lack of market. No, number one reason is cash flow. You don't know how to manage it, right? You either overexpand or you don't know how to balance things. At the end of the day, it's finance, right? So that hit me hard, and that's where we decided. Me and Christina said, okay, we'll shift. Glenn, that's yours, but eventually we partner together. So for those who are married, being in the same page is very important if you start a business. And I learned that from many people here. I have very good conversations with Kuya Celso, Marjorie, and everybody, right? So I'm inspired by all of you. One thing I would like to share with the community, this is the only organization I'm part of, the Filipino, because I've seen the good of our culture and the bad side too. And it's really painful for me, right? Na we have that not good side, right? And just like Doc Rod, as a doctor, you heal people, right? You make them smile. In finance, there's a bigger challenge. In fact, Filipinos, I think, is the most disadvantageous of all because we trust. And that's where I transitioned from being just, you know, agency owner to make it a passion. Because I remember one appointment I had, new to Canada, $3,000 a month, and renting 2 kids, I have to tiptoe. Malit yung bahay. Small town outside of Edmonton. Guess how much they're paying on insurance? $750. Okay, they're renting. Okay, and they have a debt. Guess how much is the interest rate?
22%.
49%. Okay, so imagine that agent earned more than $14,000 in that time. So there is a financial cancer that's happening right now. And I think being part of the business community to educate, and that's our passion, right? We sat down with a candidate last week, and anong comment niya is, Glenn, or you know, the community, right? You're very good people, right? The politicians are afraid of you because you know what? You have the strength, but you ask for too little. Flex your muscle. Right, so I believe that as a community we can gather together, and I would like to end with this quote. It's from the founder of Bank of America, and that's one of the reasons that we're passionate about this business. Though serving others, sabi niya, is the only legitimate business. So if you're part of that kind of business, then we're together. If not, yeah, I'll welcome you as my enemy, but you know, we're here to be helping others too, right? That's why PBSA, we have the ethics committee to make sure that only legitimate business will be here. We're not perfect, but we'll strive to be one, and we'll make sure that we'll help others. So, and I look forward to your stories from JT 3 years ago. Eventually, I will have sessions to hear your story too, in a party na sunugan ng bahay, and then now look at you. Ani Chua, right? Your story is very powerful, and I would look forward to hear from everybody as well. So, yun na.
So now the table is open for your questions. So do you have any questions to our lovely speaker for the day?
First question.
First one.
How would you know when to take that risk?
I will answer. You never know. There will never be a perfect time. It will never, you have to actually, you have to not only open the door, but just destroy that door for yourself.
Leap of
What kind of risk are you asking?
Yeah.
Risk of losing the business?
No risk of starting.
Or
A
risk of
business.
starting? Even if you don't start anything, you're still taking a risk. So it's a risk. The morning after, the morning you wake up, you're taking a risk. So it's just a matter of like, you need a power higher than you, higher than yours. So in my case, example, what are my downfalls? What are my successes? So it all stems into, of course, money. There's nothing less than that. Now, my prayer every day is, Lord, please, I'm not asking for wealth. I'm just asking that I would pay my bills. Sometimes you cannot pay your bills. And I said, Lord, can I take back that prayer? I like to exchange it. I want that wealth so that I can pay all my bills. Yeah, but hey, every day is a risk. You have to take that risk. Even if you're asleep, you're still risking. It's still COVID. We are all at risk. In COVID, you can go into business.
So you're asking, when do you know when it's time to take risk? So when I was working full time as a front-end manager at Sobeys, good income, just one job, and with benefits, with bonuses, if we cut labor costs, when you work for a company, you have some perks, right? And I was offered to work at a show home in Sherwood Park. I met these people, they said, oh, now the showroom is open, it's yours. And suddenly I have to go home and tell my partner, I'm quitting my full-time job. I'm gonna jump into being on commission 100%. And his question was, who's gonna pay the rent for your apartment? I still have an apartment with one child and everybody left. I said, well, I can manage. Aren't you gonna feed me? That was my question. But he said, well, you don't have to quit your job if you don't like it. I said, no, it's not because I don't like it, because I believe in myself that I can do better. You have to find it in yourself. And do it. Do you know what you can accomplish, what you can achieve? If you can see beyond the fear, just go for it. That's what I would say.
I have something to add on that risk that you're asking. When you put a business, when you want to go do a business, you're leader taking a risk. So whenever you have that kind of risk, you have to have that passion. What is my passion? What is my direction? What's my vision? So all that encompasses that thing, when you say risk. So if you have that vision, if you have that drive and determination, then that's the risk. Put it in. I know somebody here I told him, like 2007, that, you're crazy, you're putting up something, and now it's what the best and the most popular Filipino in Edmonton and all over Canada and even the Philippines. So he's here right now. So that's what it is, When he came to my office in 2007, he asked me, he said, I'm putting up food business. And I said, what? You have a master's degree and you always have a doctorate degree in UP. And I said, well, you don't have to do that. So, taking that risk is that you have to have that the vision and the direction and your passion to do it. And that's about it.
All right.
Kudos to you guys. It was so inspiring. And I do have a question related to the risk, as what you had mentioned. When you were in the process of coming over to Canada, of course, you have your greatest fear. How did you overcome that fear or your adversities?
Wow, it's a very powerful question.
I'll answer first. I know I was in there. And when I came here in 1993, the greatest fear that I had was that, you know, how will I prepare myself to be a person who has been back then, back then we've been office mate before back then in 87, 88, and I went to Guam and I'm one of those guys, I put my tie on 5 o'clock. He said, office is closed at 5 o'clock, so we drink beer. So I said, 1993, I have to go back. Guam is plus 32. I go to Canada, it's minus 40. So I said, holy cow, what will I do? But, for me, my determination to be in Canada is because we've been married for the last 5 years and we don't have kids. So we're getting older and, we want to set up a family in Canada. So first and foremost, I want to raise my kids in Canada. So that's why Loida said, the best place in the world is Canada. So it makes you more determined to live a good life. And at the end, I tell you, same thing with Dr. Montano, it's minus 40. My first job in October 9, same thing, I was the floor manager at the Greylands Hospital in October 9, it was snowing. It's a blizzard, minus 40 at the time. And I said, I only knew how to take the bus from downtown to McEwan, which is the 28th Avenue. And at the time, there's no bus yet from 28th Avenue to Greylands. And I said, my work is 7:30, and I arrive at the station at 7 o'clock, and there's no bus. I have to walk from McEwan, it used to be the McEwan, the Henry Page. I have to walk all the way from that place to Greylands to work. My first shift in October 9, 1993. And I tell you guys, when you say about there's no job, it's a recession time. And anything, you have to work. I mean, for me, it's about to survive and to make good as a husband, to give a good life to my family. And the reason for that, that's the reason why I'm here. So I think that's the risk. I want to put my family to live in a place where I'm comfortable with. Because in Guam, I can be easily a US citizen. I am an H-1 visa holder. So my wife said, no, we're not going there. Go up north, minus 40 who? And that's what we're Filipinos. We're Canadian. You know what Canadian is? Guys?
Paglaba ka na dyan,
Magdiyan. At least ka na dyan. So that's what I am. I think also everybody is. And that's about it.
So Miss Kiki,
This is addressed to everybody, and you have 1 minute to answer this question. Be invited if Prime Minister Trudeau was invited to this event, and he is now present right in front of you, what will you say to him with regard to your own business? Let's start with attorney.
The only thing that I will say, and the only thing that I will ask, I'm a registered conservative. So the only thing that I will say and the only thing that I will ask is, how long will it take for you to balance those books, and how long until my kids are going to be able to pay off the debt that you
I'll make a little addendum. Or Premier Jason Penny. You can choose.
okay.
Forget about your political affiliation.
What do you mean? You're talking about
With regards to your business,
with regards to my business or as a whole?
for small business owners.
For business owners,
employees
okay.
That are less than 500.
Less than 500. Okay.
Those are the small business owners.
Okay. I think, for me, if I have the Premier of Alberta, I have the City Mayor of Edmonton and the Prime Minister in one in one room like this, I'll ask them, what's your plan for the small business owners? Because in that way, these branches of government will have to have something in place for everybody. Because what you see right now is this federal government is putting this for the provincial government, and the provincial government is doing nothing. They're not in cohesive. It's like when you play an instrument in a symphony orchestra, all of them are singing different tunes. In order for us, for a small business and all business owners as a whole, to be more what you call that, to improve.
Can I give him my 1 minute for $50?
Yeah, 1 minute.
1 minute.
Trudeau and Kenny. Either first Trudeau. I'll thank him. I borrowed. No. Yes, 60,000 during COVID. Oh, thank him. Now, what else? CERB. I asked my accountant. I said, do I deserve that CERB? She said yes. Only to find out after 5 months that they were asking me to pay it back. I know, 12 grand. In my T4A, they're asking me to pay back 14. Huh? Why am I paying back 14,000 to the 12 that you're giving me? Now, I thank the Lord that I was given that money. That time, I really badly need it. So it's a manna from heaven, even if I return it back. Yeah, I thank him. Other than that, I have no things to say to Trudeau. And then Kenny, I know I am conservative, but I don't know him either. So if he is to meet me right now, he has to ask me what I can do for him. Then I will ask him what he can do for me.
Okay, I have to time myself 1 minute. The thing that I will ask Trudeau or Kenny is that in Canada, there's lot of resources that's available for business owners that nobody knows. So there should be like an information to everyone, so that you don't have to dig into research for those resources, and that's why that's my 45 seconds.
Give me 1 second. Oh, Kenny, we had.
I'm telling you now.
For me, if I have to talk to speak with Trudeau or Kenny, as he mentioned, as Mr. Campos mentioned before, that there's not enough resources for most of the small businesses. And I advocate for the Filipino, I mean, not just for Filipino, but the restaurant business. It's like, how can they help us or access to give loan to the restaurant businesses? Which we find it very hard from the beginning, that we never got a chance to apply for it.
Probably if I have a chance to, if Kenny is, I just have to direct to Kenny. If a chance to say to Kenny, I just want to say thank you. I'm grateful that I'm here in Canada and blessed. And I think that second is you have to take care of your people, especially right now with pandemic. You have to take care, especially the frontliners, the nurses, the doctors, the working doctor, all the frontliners, because that's very important right now. Thank you.
If I meet any political figure with power to change things, I would ask them to listen to the people, because they have their cabinet ministers, they have people feeding them information. So how about they actually listen to the people and hear what people want them to do, what to hear. Like for me, I want them to get some people who are actually efficient of the tax system, so that we don't have to get audited like some of us here. You know, and filing taxes by mistakes and so many errors and being audited and being questioned, getting a refund and finding out later that that's for something else when you already spent it. So, yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, again, is advocate for our values. That's number one, because I think the government sometimes veer towards a different agenda, and make it easier for business owners to start a business. And I think we need to create that environment, because I know Canada will thrive with more business owners. Less taxes, give it to the hands of the people, because as a business owner, you can manage it better than, say, somebody who writes the check, right? And then not have the responsibility to earn. But at the same time, enforcement, because I've seen people who take advantage, or business owners who are not doing very well, but they're still okay, right? We need to be strict on that, because yun yung challenge dito. Things are a little bit lax and people take advantage of other people as well. All right, thank you. Yes. Oh, Marjorie, before, so we can stay here until midnight. Huh? But I just, so actually we want to mingle, but questions are very important. One project that we'll do, and I think Marian is here, is that we need to write stories from them, right?
Yes.
So si Ate Loida ngayon, and then we'll have more people. Yes, Marjorie, sorry to cut you off there.
Oh, okay. The question is, what are the 3 things that define who you are? 3 lang ha, not 4, not 5.
Isa lang tanong.
Isa lang? Hindi lahat? Just a word. Okay, Dr. Nimrod, what are the 3 things that define who you are?
3 things that define me is that faith, hard work, and respect.
You have a question?
I want to ask the panelists, because they're very successful, right? But what mistakes have you made along the way, and how did you cope up?
Only one person. Sino gusto mong tanongin? Only one.
Attorney.
Okay.
Attorney Kat.
So, not to pivot on your question, but I think that with every mistake you learn from it, and you become a stronger person and a stronger human being for it. So it's not really a mistake, but then Joseph and I, when we were starting, so I didn't have a chance to tell you the story of Angeles Law, but when we were starting Angeles Law, when I was taking the exams to become a lawyer here in Alberta, I was at my last exam. On my last exam, I was 6 months pregnant with our Ally over there, and then and after I got the certification that I'm qualified to proceed to the next level, which is to become a student at law. After a year of becoming a student at law, we opened Angeles Law, and the thing that you don't realize is you know the law, you studied everything, but then you don't know about the business side of it. So Joseph and I didn't have any idea how to market. So we actually, this is a story that we tell our friends, but we actually bought tickets to
Showtime.
We bought tickets to Showtime. Hindi namin alam ang Showtime, but we bought tickets to Showtime and then we went there like an hour before the show started and handed out business cards. Syempre, no one would walang pumapansin because and we get into arguments with people because we actually tell them, no, we're actually lawyers here. No, not just in the Philippines. Yes, here in Canada. So I went door to door, back to back, giving my resume, giving my business card, and then actually one of my goals that first year was to land a conversation with Loida. So, but Loida was away on holidays, but then finally she phoned me back and the rest is history. But it wasn't as tough as with the other speakers, but it was hard work. It was taking it day by day and
How many more questions?
One
more question.
Okay, last one question.
To whom?
I 1 minute ka rin
Very quick. Dr. Nimrod, if there is one thing you wanna inspire all of us, what would that be?
Okay, well, thank you for the question. Actually, the one that I answered to my first question is that for me, I believe that all of us, we have our own destiny. Bad or good, you have to be grateful and you have to be thankful. Sometimes we miss small miracles in our life. We always look at the bigger miracles that we want, but waking up in the morning is a miracle. Seeing your family is a miracle. Walking to your work is a miracle. For me, is that as long as you believe with more powerful than from us is, just like you have to. That's what happened if we have so much challenges in life. We have so many problems, but we have a hard time carrying it because we want to carry it. But all you have to do is, Lord, I give everything to you. I come here to Canada with nothing, and I am. And look at yourself right now. We have to be appreciative of what we have, because everything is whatever will happen, bad or good, there's a reason. Thank you.
Let's have a round of applause to our speaker. We'll have our closing remarks from our lovely president.
Anyway, are you inspired with all their stories? Right? That's why Mark and Marian is our IT and media coordinators. The PBSA goal right now this year is to introduce all our members. This is the initial event. And next month, we're going to have other members too to share their stories and their inspiration. That's the purpose of PBSA. All right? I got so many takeaways, but first acknowledgement to our host. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Josie. Right? And our guests, right? Thank you very much, po. And our event coordinator, Marjorie. Behind the scenes, Pia, Glenn, Christina, right, for accommodating us to this today. I got so many takeaways kung wala akong nakita nagno-note sa inyo Ayan. But my takeaway to this, because of their stories, right? Service, number one. humility, even though they're successful, kita nyo naman, they find time to give us their stories, right? Si Doc, ano lang yan, mamaya 1,000 na yan sa ano, pero they give their time here, right? So 1 hour, di ba? $1 million. But they give their time to share their inspiring stories to everyone, especially for the new business people, right? And also set goals, right? And especially thank you, Canada, for the opportunity. We are all here, right? We are family. So at least PBSA is a family. That's one of the goals to make us wholesome, right? As a family itself. And what else? Got so many takeaways dito eh. Yeah? And family. And the Lord's blessing. In every struggles you have, sabi nga ni Rocky, every time you fall down, you have to step up, right? And keep on fighting, set your goals and everything. Okay? So, thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Talagang para ako nakasanggal sa pader. Thank you very much.